When this woman returned home from vacation, she found that 10 squatters had invaded her house. An Oklahoma woman returned from vacation to a waking nightmare when she found a group of strangers occupying her home. There seemed to be little doubt that they were squatters, but they claimed that they had the right to be there. However, even more shocking and more disgusting revelations were to come. Crystal Taylor has a large house in Broken Arrow, close to Tulsa in northeast Oklahoma. The property boasts a luxurious pool and a spacious garage. Crystal headed off on a break to Cabo in summer 2016, but little did she know that the house would soon be under siege. Down on the Mexican coast, Crystal most likely put her daily anxieties to the back of her mind. However, 1,250 miles away, darkness was falling in Broken Arrow, and a 10-strong group of people were preparing to make their way into Crystal's home. At around 3 a.m., neighbors caught sight of the cohort entering the property via the garage door. With some persuasion, the group managed to lift the garage door up. This was to be their main entry point to the house. Apparently, believing that they were free to enter and leave the property at will, the group made themselves comfortable. This handsome home was, for all intents and purposes, now their own. Before long, the house guests had brought their animals inside, including 5 cats and a dog. They settled down in the rooms, threw down mattresses, and moved their possessions in. With all that shifting done and dusted, it was time for them to throw a housewarming pool party. While she was away for a week and a half, Crystal was blissfully unaware of the goings-on back in Broken Arrow. However, her neighbors were no doubt growing increasingly concerned. South of the border, Crystal received a call about her uninvited guests and immediately booked a return flight. Stepping through her front door, she was shocked. In less than a fortnight, the place she called home had undergone a horrifying transformation. However, when they were called, BAPD officers could not find any evidence of a break-in, and they made no arrests. Instead, they issued a warning to the group for trespassing. Crystal soon realized that her house had sustained thousands of dollars worth of damage. There was paint on the walls and litter boxes for the animals in every room, along with cigarette butts and garbage strewn all over the floor. There were stains absolutely everywhere. Furthermore, the new wood floors had been severely damaged and electronics had actually been pulled from the walls. Perhaps even worse, the pool was also suffering and had turned a suspicious shade of green. Having it cleaned would require it to be completely drained, but that wasn't the worst of it. In fact, what truly turned Crystal's stomach was when she opened the fridge to find roaches scuttling around inside. She said that she'd also found bed bugs in the property as well. "It's all dirty. It just feels dirty," she told Inside Edition. Asked what the property looked like when she returned from Cabo, she told News on 6, "It was awful. It looked like I was in some homeless shelter with mattresses everywhere." She added, "It was a shock. I didn't understand how people could do that. I was so furious, but there was nothing I could do." Crystal was stunned that no arrests were made for breaking and entering, though officers held out the possibility that charges could follow. There was one significant detail that made the police officer's job more difficult, however. The so-called squatters said that they found the property available for rent on Craigslist. What's more, they were able to show that they'd signed a rental lease. Cheery Tuning, one of the house guests, responded to the allegation that they were squatters by saying that she didn't scam anyone. However, a closer look at the rental form showed that it listed the owner of the house as being one Stephen Parker. And after some investigation, Crystal said that she found a box of blank lease forms in the garage, which made her think that the squatters had faked their own rental agreement. For her part, Sherry insisted that she never realized something was wrong. According to her, she'd been given a key. Sherry told Inside Edition, "It was the second or third day when we noticed our keys didn't turn. I'm sorry, I had nothing to do with it." She said that when her key stopped working, she and her fellow residents then entered the house via the garage, apparently without being concerned about what had happened. "I'm innocent in this," Sherry said. "I didn't scam anyone." Since being turfed out, Sherry has said that she also lost her job. Another member of the group, Dave Makins, admitted that the circumstances of their move-in might have seemed suspicious. "I know it reeks, it looks bad on us, but with the lease, we got shanghaied," Dale told News on 6. "She's being nice enough to let us get our stuff. We'll go another place. We're going to research the house before we even move in." It seems that Makins and his wife Erica previously made local news back in 2010 when they lived in Midtown Tulsa. The pair were living without heat in a rented property as their landlord illegally refused to replace a broken furnace. At the time, the Makins could not afford a new furnace, while the landlord claimed he was unable to buy one. After Crystal returned to Broken Arrow, Dale and his companions began the process of taking their belongings away. The rightful owner of the home wanted to see justice done and the culprits punished. However, Crystal's told News on 6, "It should be breaking and entering. They broke into my home. They crawled underneath the garage. They vandalized my home. They brought roaches and bed bugs into the house, and nothing's being done." Crystal's story sparked online debate. Most commenters called the BAPD out for not taking more action. However, one individual placed blame elsewhere. They wrote, "My neighbors know when I'm not going to be around. Trust me, if they saw someone breaking in, they'd call the cops immediately, not wait a week and a half." Another commenter wrote, "That house is in my neighborhood and has been empty for months. Before the squatters moved in, the yard hadn't been mowed in easily a month and a half. I saw these people moving in, and almost immediately the yard got mowed. If the house had been empty for a longer period, that might explain how quite so much damage was done to the property." Squatting is an increasingly common occurrence in the United States, and there's even advice available online explaining how to take over an abandoned building. Attempts to squat illegally are also widespread, though, and police advise homeowners to alert neighbors if they're vacating their property for an extended period of time. Police officer Israel Ramirez told ABC News, "Let the people around know that the home is vacant. Nobody's supposed to be living in there, and if someone does move in, that a contract has been made and that they've been authorized to go in."